Hello YouTube watchers, welcome to Warrior Camping. Now today I've got another old tent for you today. Well, this one ain't really old, it's not a vintage tent, but I've had it quite a long time. It's got a few years on the clock, this old tent. And this is the tent that I've done it all with this tent. As you can see, it's the Vango Spectre 200. Now it's a good tent this. This is kind of, you'll see as I get it out, it's not in fantastic condition. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just well used, this tent. Because this is the tent that sort of become my like go-to when the weather's bad, going up the woods, going like mates go fishing, going meeting them, staying down by the riverbank for a few days and all that. This is the tent I've done all that with, because I tend not to use a good tent for that. If I got a really nice tent, does not go down a muddy old riverbank fishing. It does not go up the woods, but this one does. This is like my one that I just sort of use whatever. If the weather's going to be bad and all that, I take this one out. So I've used this really a lot. It's still going, so it is a good strong tent, this one. And I don't know why this one like didn't catch on, because everyone had the Banshee. This Spectre, you didn't really see it much. When for like out and about camping, doing it all, this is as good as a Banshee. It really is. This thing really takes the wind well and all the weather. It's easy to pitch. It's light to carry, so I'm surprised that this one didn't really catch on. It was never a massive popular tent when it should have been, because it's really as good as any of the tents from around the same era as this for a bit of hiking, bit of backpacking, bit of whatever you wanted to do with it. This tent is a really good one. It's so easy to pitch, this tent. It's just got the three poles, big one in the middle, two short ones at either end. Up she goes, chuck some pegs in it, away you go with this. Like I said, I've used this loads. I still use this now loads. If I was going somewhere and I know there's going to be a ton of mud and all that, I take this. I like this tent. It's a really good tent. It's like, it's a nice tent to use, this is. And it's like stood the test of time, because this tent hasn't been looked after. It's just been like out in the mud, out in everything, rolled up, chucked back in the bag. Yeah, alright, if I get it home and it was wet, it would be pulled out and dried right out. I'm not going to leave it in the bag all wet. But it's never been really looked after, this tent. And like, I've had it a long, long time, this tent. So I rate this tent a lot. And these like on eBay and that, they don't make a lot of money. If you're looking for like a tent to get out there in, this ain't a bad way to go, this Scepter, because it makes less money than the other tents. No one really goes after this. No one really wants this. Don't think people realise how good this is. Other than the people who own one, it like it doesn't get rated like other tents when it should really, because this is a really nice tent, this thing is. Really good tent. And I bought this, it was brand new when I got this. It was quite a few years ago, so it was brand new, and I found it, I think it was on the Vango website, or on a website that sells a lot of Vango stuff. And it was listed as like new and unused, brand new, with parts missing. So I always remember it when I read up about it. All that was missing, it had no guidelines with it, and it had no pegs with it. So I got this thing really cheap because it had no pegs or no guidelines. So I thought, oh right, I'm having that. That looks like a good tent, and it's, I can't remember what I paid for it, but I really didn't pay much for this tent, and it was delivered to the door, and I remember setting it up, and that is all that was missing. Do you know what I mean? Pegs and guidelines. So I threw some guidelines on it, and I already had a ton of pegs, so it didn't matter to me that I had no pegs with it, because I just used pegs from elsewhere. So that's all it was. It always sort of amazed me, because I think it did come from the Vango site. Why didn't they just put another packet of pegs in it and put a little packet of guidelines in it and sell it as like normal. But they didn't. They sold it like dirt cheap because it had no guides and no pegs. So I got a right bargain on this. And when I first got it, I did sort of look after it for a while because it was a brand new tent. So I did look after it. It only went out nice weather and all that because I'm like that with new tents. I don't want to ruin them. But then when this thing got like a couple of years old, I really liked using this, and it didn't cost me a lot of money. So this started becoming the tent that I would use. Bad weather, go out with mates when sometimes we go up the woods. We know the weather's going to be bad and that, all rainy and muddy. We sit about, have a good laugh, do a fire and that. This became my tent doing that, and then it just sort of became that tent. So now, if I knew the weather was going to be bad and that, I'm straight in the Scepter. If I'm out on my own camping, I'm straight to the Scepter, and this is the one that comes with me. Because it's like so easy to pitch. It's a really nice tent to be in. It's dry as a bone inside when it's lashing it down. It's like, it's quite a good shape, so it doesn't stand out. If you put this thing up the woods or in the corner of a field or something, it doesn't stand right out. It blends in a bit. So it's a good one for like where you don't want to get spotted that well. This is a good one for that. And I used to use this, and I had an early Banshee 2, a single door version, a Banshee 2. So I used to kind of mix it up a bit and use this a lot doing that, and use my Banshee 2 quite a lot doing that. Sort of take one week, take the other, mix it up a bit, because I used to like my Banshee 2. But then when the Banshees started getting the double doors and that, I sold my Banshee 2 because one of my friends was looking to come camping and that. He wanted a tent and he was like, I really like your Banshee. So I sold my Banshee 2 to one of my friends, and I bought a Banshee 3 with both doors that open up. And then this one became the one I used all the time because my Banshee 3, I just loved it from the day I got it with the double doors and all that. That's never been up the woods or down the riverbank and that. My Banshee 3 has been looked after. And you'll see that because I'll put it on the channel another day, my Banshee. I'll dig it out and do it. It's in lovely condition. So I've always looked after that Banshee 3. So when I got that, this just became the one I used all the time. Bad weather, muddy conditions, go out, do anything in this. Friends have borrowed this to go out fishing and all that. People have used this, and it's like still going strong, this tent. So it is a really good tent, because a lot of tents would not have took what this thing has been through. It wouldn't. They would have fell apart, or they would be totally knackered. You wouldn't want to use them. But this old Vango is really built well, because it's just kept going and going, this thing. And it is still going strong, this thing. Although it is getting a little bit knackered on the ground sheet and that, but all the fly and all that on it is still lovely. The only way you can really tell this has been used a lot is in the ground sheet inside. But there's no holes or nothing in it. It doesn't leak. It's just where it's been used so much, chucked up anywhere. Rough ground, rock hard, muddy ground, fields. This tent's been everywhere. And I love this old tent for that. Because of the adventures I've had in it, I've spent a ton of time with this tent, so I'm attached to this tent. You find that if you use a tent loads and loads, and have some right good laughs with them and that, you sort of become attached to them. And I have become attached to this old Spectre, definitely. I love this old thing, so that is why I was going to retire this. I was going to not use it how I use it no more, because it's not far off. Keep taking this out of the woods and doing all that with it, it's going to end up like really ruined. So I was thinking the other week, I'll get something else and then retire the old Spectre and just put it in the old tent collection and use it now and again, and I'll really well enjoy using this tent because I've got that history with it. I love them tents that I've got all that history with. I've used loads, I had a ton of adventures with them, had some right laughs with them, and we have had some laughs with this Spectre, we have, I tell ya. So I was thinking I might not use this like that anymore. Get something else to replace it. Something else to use as a bit of a rinser tent. So that is why I bought that Fox really. When I was looking about, I thought, right, what do I want to replace the old Spectre with? I thought, right, I'll get a Fox 2. I'll set myself £40 limit, keep bidding, get a cheap little Fox 2, and that will be my rinser tent that I'll just do anything with and not really care about much. So that's what I did. I kept going on eBay, working out the postage and how much to bid, and I've set myself a £40 limit. Thought, right, I'll keep bidding on Fox 2s up to 40 quid until I got one. And then the other day I got one, 40 quid delivered to the door. And it was going to become my rinser tent. But if you watch the video on that Fox 2 that I got hold of, the little thing is immaculate. So as soon as I pitched it up, I spent the afternoon chilling out in it and that. I really like that little Fox 2. So I'm not going to take it straight up the woods and start abusing it. It is too nice for that, this Fox 2 I got me hold of. It's absolutely lovely condition. So I'm not going to just take it and ruin it up the woods. So I need to find something else to replace this old Spectre. Because I did buy that Fox to do it, but it's nice that Fox 2 I got. If you watch the video, you'll see how good condition it is. It's lovely, the old Fox I've got. So it's not just going up the woods and going to get abused. So the old Spectre will have to do that one for a little bit longer until I find something else to replace it. So I'm just going to go round and retension it, pull it up a bit tighter now it's up. Just stretch it out a little bit more, get it tighter, because it's looking a little bit saggy at the minute, the poor old Spectre. So let's pull her out nice and tight, get her looking her best for the viewers at home on the YouTube channel. So that's it, stretch it out nice and tight. And I would say, if you're a bit like me and you got an old tent like this that you use and abuse, retire it before you can't use it anymore and put it in your little collection. Because these ones that you've had a ton of fun with and had a right laugh with and used a lot, they are good ones to save. And then over the next few years, like I retire this one or you retire your one, you'll really start enjoying that. Get it out now and again, use it, yeah, have it in the collection before it gets where you can't use it no more. Because that's a shame. If you've got an old tent you've got a lot of history with and you've had a ton of fun with, it's a shame when you end up where you can't use them anymore. So when they get a bit like these tents got a load of life left in it, but if it keeps going up the woods and I keep doing to it what I've been doing with it, it will sort of run out of life, this tent. It's right at a point now where it is still worth saving because it's still quite a nice tent. And if you look after this from now, it'll stay like this for years and years. If you just use it nice conditions and all that, this tent will stay good for years. So that's what I normally do. I've got quite a few that have been my old go to do anything with tents, but then I've retired them down and just put them in my old collection. And now I love them tents, get them out now and again. They're better than one that you haven't used much, no matter how nice it is. A right fancy ton of money tent that you haven't used much is not as good to take out now and again as an old tent that you have used tons and had a ton of fun with. And you got the other thing that's good about it, like if you got a tent at the moment that you use loads, do everything with it and all that, and alright, it might be a common tent that you see everywhere and everyone is using it, But if you like retire that tent a bit, put it in your little tent collection, look after it, use it now and again, in a few years' time, you will find that there is not many of them tents out there, and your little tent becomes a bit of a rarity to still be going. And that's good, that is, because you'll take it out and people will go, oh, I used to have one of them. You don't see them no more. And it doesn't take that long before that happens, because tents like this, say this Spectre, people are using and abusing this, especially at the minute. It's a cheap tent. You pick this up on eBay for not a lot of money. People are just rinse this thing out. So the more get rinsed out over the next, say, 10 years or so, there won't be many of these left. So to still have one of them tents that used to be like a bit of a everywhere tent, and then you don't see it no more, that's really good. Now, I never thought like that years ago, but some of the tents I've got, you did see them out everywhere, and then I retired them down. I was like, right, look after that, use it now and again. So them tents I've got are still going really strong, and you don't see them no more. They have become really rare little tents. So that's good. You get a double whammy. You get a tent that you've used loads and had a ton of fun, a ton of adventures with. Plus you get something that ends up quite rare, and he's like a bit of a sort of special little tent. When you don't see them no more and your one is still going strong, yeah, it's a good one to use. So you get a double whammy if you retire a tent down and then start looking after it. Right, so let's open up the old Spectre. Have a look inside the old girl. So the door just unzips, rolls up like this, and then you got the toggles at the top. Two toggles, hold the door up. That's all it is. One toggle there, and a toggle along a little bit further. Elastic toggles. So you just poke the toggle through, and that's it. Like it's do on a ton of tents. Easy. I don't mind the toggle. Work really well, because they never really fall down. They just, once you've got them up there, they're easy, aren't they? And when you need to undo them, you just push the toggle through and away you go. They're easy. So then you just unzip the inner door, and this thing's got one big zip, goes right round and opens that door right up. So you can see it's got a nice big bathtub floor in it. And it's quite big in here for a two-man tent. Alright, it's not the widest tent in the world, but you can fit two of you in here. But it's quite long, this tent, and it's good because at either end you can unzip it, and like it's got storage bits at either end. So that's sort of what I liked about this tent. You can store quite a lot of gear in this, because them bits at the end there, them zips undo, and it just takes you into like a little bit where you can store gear. Plus in the summer, you unzip them bits both ends and flap them down. It stays nice and cold in here. You get a good bit of wind like coming through it. So it does vent well, this tent, if you open them ends up. And as you can see, all the corners are reinforced. Got a couple of pockets there. Exactly the same the other side. Has only got the one door on this tent on that side. It's got the tensioner system to give it a bit of strength, the old Vango tensioner. It's got high up like roof pockets that you can put a little bit of gear in, put your lantern in or whatever. Got the tensioners, pull them tight. So it's a good tent, this one. When it is really windy, you tighten up them tensioners on this. It's a strong little tent, this one, I'll tell you. And it has got the little pockets there where if you disconnect the tensioners, you want them out of the way, they just thread through and go into a little pocket on the fly. So you can get them out of the way so you don't trip over them all. So you can just see the ground sheet on this. It's alright condition, it's just a bit marked up. So that's the bit I'm on about. Look, you open that, and you're in that like little tiny vegetable bit. Now you're not cooking or nothing out there. It is only little, but you can get your boots and your rucksack and all your bits out there. And if you put like, I'd carry a bin liner. So you put a bin bag out there, on the floor, then you can put your rucksack and your boots and all that out there, and it don't get wet. And you have got the same the other end, so whatever way you want to sleep, you put your gear like by your head, or if you got a load of gear, you put it either end. And like I say, you undo both of them. This thing vents out nice because it's like opened up both ends and at the side. So you can get a good airflow going through this. It's not one of them really hot, little stuffy, unbearable tents when the weather's nice. It's really nice. It stays quite good, this one, if you vent it all out, open it right up. So it's a nice tent, this one. It's a nice place to be, this is. It's a nice tent. Open both them ends up, have the door open, in here. Look, you can see I'm laying down, there's a load of room past me. There's none of that, your feet are one end and your head's touching the other end. My head is not touching the other end, it's nowhere near it. So this is quite a long tent, this, although it's not that wide. But it is plenty wide enough for two. It's not the teeny tiny little two-man tent that you just gotta like cuddle up to whoever you're with, else you can't fit in it. It's not like that. There is enough room in here to like have plenty of room to sleep. And this is only the 200. They do make this in a 300, which I've had this pitched near, and that 300 is a fair bit wider. It's no longer or anything like that, but it is quite a bit wider than this one. But I would say, if it's like you and your missus or whatever, or you on your own, this 200's the one to go for, because there is enough room in here. If you like a couple of big blokes, yeah, get that 300, but the 200 would do you. If you're a couple of little fellas, couple of girls, or normal sized fellas, not little fellas, normal sized fellas, couple of girls, you and your partner, yeah, you'd be happy in this Spectre 2, especially for the money you can get one for. Now, if you like went on eBay or something, these are out there. There's a lot of these out there. Hunt down one of these in nice condition. Don't pay a lot of money for it. You get yourself a really good, usable, all-weather tent that can deal with a storm, can deal when it's lashing down with rain, can take it all, this Spectre, no problem. And it's got good storage at either end. So this is a really good little tent, really. And a really underrated little tent with all its alley poles and all that. It's really built well, this tent. So it is an underrated tent, because everyone bought a Banshee, everyone bought different sorts of tents. The Spectre was a bit like forgotten about. No one really went after it, when they should have really. I'm surprised this didn't catch on more, because it's a really good design. It's really strong. It's really easy to pitch, and there's a load of room in it for a little tent. So it's got a lot going for it, this Spectre. It really has. I like the Spectre, definitely. It's a great little tent. And a really nice tent to use. You have that door open and that, sitting in there. Yeah, it's a really nice tent to use. It has got a bit of room in the old vestibule, and all. You can store your shoes and more gear. So when you got that vestibule and the both end bits, you can get a ton of gear in this thing. And it doesn't affect your little sleeping area. There's still a load of room in there. So it is a good one, this, definitely. It is a good tent, and it's really easy to pitch, this thing. It goes up well quick. It is a simple one. And I'd say this is as strong as a Banshee and that. I've had my old Banshee too. I used that quite a lot. It didn't last no better than this thing. If anything, this sort of lasted better than my old Banshee 2, because my Banshee 2 started getting a bit worn, whereas this Sceptre didn't. I've used this tons, and it still looks good. You look at the outside of this thing. If you just go round like the fly sheet on this tent, you would not realise that this tent has done what it has done. The only way you can see that this tent has been used a lot is when you look inside at that ground sheet. And that's my fault in a way, really, because I never used this thing in the early days with a, like, ground protector under it. I would now, if I take this out, I'll take a little bit of tarpaulin that I've got cut to size and just put it under it just to protect it a little bit. So if I'd done that from day one, that ground sheet would probably still be in really nice condition. And it only looks worn, it's just got a lot of creases and they start going white and that, innit? There is no holes in it, there is no damage to it, it does not leak. It's just they get marked up and that and show their age, show their usage. So that is the only way that you can tell that this tent has seen a ton of action, is that ground sheet inside. So let's do a few measurements on this. I'm only doing this one because it's bigger than most normal two-man tents, it really is. As you can see there, that's about 135 wide, so it's quite wide. It's got like a good over a foot width in the old vestibule. And it's quite long, this one, compared to others, because a lot of tents are about 210, something like this, and I swear this one's a bit longer. It has got a bit of length to it, this tent. So how long is it? As you can see there, it's about 230, maybe 235 long. So the inside of this tent is more generous than most little tiny two-man tents. Probably not by much, but where it's just a little bit wider and it's a little bit longer, it just seems much bigger inside this one. It does seem like quite a big tent when you're in this one, and it's not. The outside and that, it doesn't take up much room, this tent. And it is light, this tent, to carry. It's an easy one, it packs down small. So if you're carrying this about, it's not a heavy tent to carry about, this one. Not for the money you are picking it up for. Alright, if you paid a ton of money for a tent, you want something a lot lighter than this. But if you're on a bit of a budget and you're just going out, want to do a bit of cheap camping, you want a tent that can deal with it all, this Vango Spectre 200 is a good one to go for. You can get them at a bargain price. To me, this tent has proved itself. This tent is strong as anything you will get. It will last as well as anything you'll get your hands on. So if you get a good one in the first place, this tent will last you, definitely, because it has lasted me. This tent has took everything and it's still going strong. I've had no trouble with this whatsoever. It's a nice tent to be inside. It's easy to pitch. Packs down small, cheap price to buy it. What more could you want from a little tent if you just want to get out camping on a budget? This is a good one. Definitely comes with a recommendation from me to get out budget camping. The Spectre is a good one for that. Well, a lot of these old Vangos are really, innit? Vangos from around this sort of period, they're all good. The Banshee, the Spectre, there's a load of them. They're all good. But this Spectre, out of all of them, seems to make the least amount of money. Like a Banshee, still going to cost you. If you want a Banshee, it's going to be a few quid. You're not getting one as cheap as you will get your hands on one of these Spectres. You're really not. So this Spectre, it is a bit of a bargain in the second-hand camping world. It definitely is. And if you got one, you would be really happy with it. So as you can see, let's have a bit of a better look at the old Spectre. My one's not that bad. Considering what this tent has done, it is still in really lovely condition. It really is. It's got a great look to it. You look at it there. All pitched up nice. Look, this tent looks really good. It's a lovely looking tent. When I'm out with mates and all that, you pitch this up beside any of their nice fancy tents, this one looks as good. It really does. It's as good as them. It's got a great look to it, this tent. Whereas some tents haven't, have they? You put them up and you think, oh, I don't really like that tent. But you won't think that with this Spectre. You'll put it up and look at it and think that is a really good looking tent. It really is. So it's nice the way it's done, and with that door, so you could, like, if you wanted to cook outside the door and that, and you want to be a bit hidden, the sort of shape of it, you can pitch that front like up against some bushes or something like that, and then cook out in the little front bit, and no one sees your fire or sees your gas stove going. It's all quite hidden, so it's a good one for that. You can like hide this thing up, bit of cooking, bit of whatever. And I also do a bit with that side there. I just clip a flag onto the poles, and I can make like a little canopy for this one. So yeah, it's a nice tent this is. Well, I've had it a long time. I've learned quite a few little tricks you can do with this tent. And you can even, if it's like red hot, you can ditch the pegs at the end, and you can like flip them end bits right up. So if you did both ends, you just get a bit of string and tie it onto the straps over the top, and it'll hold both ends right open. I've done it when it's been really hot. I would have done it today, but I haven't got a long bit of string with me. I should have got a bit ready really before I started doing the video to show you that, but I haven't. But you can do that. Lift both ends back, and you just get a string and tie them to the straps either end, right across the roof, bit of string, and this thing's opened right up, cool it right down. So this tent is a great looking tent. A really good tent, a bargain tent for the money. This is hard to beat, I reckon, this one. If you find a nice one. It's quite an old tent, so I imagine a lot of them out there are knackered if they ain't been looked after. But if you bought a second-hand one of these that has been looked after, it will be as nice condition as my one, because this one has done it all, but it has always been sort of looked after. It's been abused, but looked after at the same time. So the old Vango Spectre, 100% this thing gets a thumbs up from me. 200%. It's fantastic, this old tent. So to anyone thinking, oh, I want to get out camping, I can't afford a tent, you're wrong. You don't need to go and buy a high-end ton of money tent, you really don't. Get yourself a Spectre for next to no money and just get out camping and go and enjoy yourself with it. And you'll love this Spectre if you get one for no money, because it's a fantastic little tent that you can take anywhere, pitch quick and really enjoy yourself in. So stop looking at them expensive tents. You really don't need one. They are no better than this thing. They're really not. I've got quite a few expensive tents, and I'll tell you what, I've had more fun in this old girl. So stop looking at them dear tents. And do yourself a favour, get a Spectre 200 and just get out there camping and enjoying yourself on a budget. Thanks for watching, please subscribe so you can join me again. I'm off now to chill out for the afternoon in my Spectre and reminisce about all the lovely adventures we've had together. So let's go, camping on a budget in the Vango.